Hello my beautiful and makeup loving friends. If this is your first time to my channel, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Emily and today we are going to be testing out this brand new Jouer Rose Gold Blush Duo. So let's go ahead and hop right on in and see what this baby is all about. Jouer has recently launched their Rose Gold collection, and with the Rose Gold collection they brought out a few different rose gold themed items. The one that really caught my attention was the Blush Bouquet, which I love the name of their little blush duos. It's such a cute name, and they currently have 3 different shades that have been on the market for about a year or so. They also came out with a rose gold highlighter and a rose gold lip topper. I used to have the rose gold highlighter because the original rose gold collection came out, I believe it was around a year ago, and I picked up the highlight, wasn't super impressed, and I sent it off to my friend. But I was so intrigued when I found out they were bringing out this blush duo. I love the warm pink. I think it looks so beautiful. So I'm going to be testing this out for you guys today, and we will see what the hype is all about around these blush duos. But I am going to be testing this guy on my cheeks today and doing a check-in later on in the day because I want to see what the formula is all about. A lot of people here on YouTube have put these in their favorites videos, and I don't know if those are just like sponsored videos or if they're actually good. So I want to test it out and see. This is unsponsored. Why would they send me product? I bought this with my own money. And by the way, this is $30. You can purchase it on the Sephora website and on the Jouer website. I believe that they are really new to Sephora. So you can pick it up on Sephora if you want the free shipping, if you are VIB Rouge like me, or you can use a 15% off coupon on the Jouer website because a bunch of influencers have the coupon code. So the left side of the Blush Bouquet is the shade Marigold, and it's described as a shimmering, warm, sparkling peach. And the right side of the Blush Bouquet here is the shade Rose Petal. This is described as a cool, light coral. So I'm gonna go ahead and try these guys on my cheeks here in just a moment, and then afterwards I have a few similar shades in my collection of blush. They're not exact dupes, but they're as close as I could get from what I have in the collection. So I have my Sephora Angled Blush Brush number 50 here. It's just a slanted blush brush, and I'm gonna apply Marigold on the left side of my face and Rose Petal on the right side of my face, and then afterwards I'm gonna just combine a little bit of both to make everything look pretty normal and even because I have some errands to run today and I don't want to look like a crazy clown person out and about running errands. Not like I don't already look like that, but I don't want to enhance it anymore. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pick up some of Rose Petal here, and I'm gonna get my brush decently saturated. I heard that these are pretty sheer in pigment and that you can build them up. So I want to see how much we can get on the cheeks because I like a very strong kind of out there type of blush. But let's go ahead and start just swooping this onto my cheeks here. And so far, I'm actually really enjoying the shade and the tone of this pink. It is a little bit more cool toned like it describes on the website, but it's a coral, so it's kind of a unique shade. Typically, we see really warm, kind of orangey corals, and this one's a little bit more blue based, but it still has that coral quality to it, if that makes sense. So I quite like this. So just taking the same brush, I'm just gonna hop into Marigold here. And let's go ahead and just swoop this on the cheeks as well. I like to really start out my blush right on the apples and just kind of brush it back and doing a swooping motion to really blend it into my bronzer and my contour and all that jazz. So this is what Marigold looks like on the left side of my face, and this is what Rose Petal looks like on the right side of my face. Are we seeing a difference here? Does it look any different at all? I think that the more shimmery, deeper side does definitely look a little bit different, but they are very similar in tone. I honestly prefer the matte Rose Petal side a little bit better just because I personally like something that's a bit brighter, but I do appreciate the I just got my lip gloss all up in this brush, but I do really enjoy the subtle sheen that I am getting from Marigold here. It looks very natural and very glowy on the skin, but now I'm just gonna mix them together just to make everything look a bit more even here. So I'm just gonna kind of brush whatever I have left over on the brush over top of the blush I already applied. So I am looking very blushy and very out there today with my blush. I was trying not to go for the whole clown aesthetic, but it looks like we have arrived here, so I'm just gonna have to deal with what I have been dealt. I actually really like the way that this blush looks on my cheeks. I think it looks very fresh and it makes me look very awake, and my cheeks look very rosy, but they don't look too overdone in my opinion. Maybe to some people, but to me, they're just on the border of being a little bit too out there, but I still think that it looks very pretty and very summery. I actually really like this. So now that we've tested it on the cheeks, I want to show you guys some similar shades that I already have in my collection. Now, I don't really have that many to show. I literally just have 3 different blushes to show. And out of my huge blush collection, I honestly thought that I would have more to dupe this guy out, but I don't. I didn't go for bright pink blushes for a very long time. I went for orangey, more tangerine type blushes, and I've just recently gotten into this rosy kind of baby pink type of blush. So I have a few to show you, but it's not as many as I was hoping. So the first dupe or similar shade that I have in my collection here is the shade Pink Honey Pop by Clinique. As you can see, the colors are very similar, and this one would be a dupe for Rosebud, which was that cool toned coral shade. But Rosebud from the Blush Bouquet is just a little bit more warm, I guess, even though they're both cool. It's a little bit more saturated in pigment. Pink Honey by Clinique is just a little bit more sheer. I know this from personal experience because, as you can see, I have used Pink Honey to hell and back. But it's a little bit more muted and a little bit less bright and a little bit less of that baby pink color that I'm getting from the shade Rosebud. Then we have the next best thing to the shade Marigold in my collection, and that is the oh so well known and loved Too Faced Pop It Out Peach Blush. The shimmer in both these blushes are very similar. They're both very subtle and very finely milled, so you can see a nice sheen on the cheeks, but you're not going to see a lot of glitter or a lot of texture on the cheeks. These blushes both look very smooth, but you can definitely still see a little bit of a shine and a little bit of a glow peeking through. Now, the shade of these blushes are also very similar. Pop It Out Peach, of course, is a little bit more terracotta and a little bit more of that burnt peach type of shade, but they both have a little bit of that kind of burnt terracotta peachy undertone. But Marigold from the Blush Bouquet here has a bit more of that baby pink kind of quality to it that I think just looks a little bit brighter and a little bit more fresh on the cheeks. And finally, for the dupes or the closest colors in my collection, I have one of the brand new Too Faced Tutti Frutti dual blushes here in the shade Strobeberry, which is supposed to be the strawberry pink shade. Now, you might look at these and think, well, those aren't similar at all, but I actually really find the more glittery kind of shimmery side of this specific blush very similar to Marigold as well. The Strawberry shade is a bit more pink toned than Marigold. Marigold has a bit of peachiness to it, but still has a baby pink quality to it, where the Strawberry shade has more so of that kind of fuchsia pink quality. But you'll see in the swatches here in just a moment that they actually really do look kind of similar, and I do feel like if you were to use both on the cheeks, you could achieve a very similar look. But those are the only blushes that I really have to show you guys out of my collection that are similar enough for me to want to consider showing you and giving another option to the Blush Bouquet. Honestly, I really love this blush so far. I think it looks very beautiful on the skin. So I'm going to go ahead and go do some errands and run around town for a little bit, and I'll be back in just a couple hours and we'll see how this wore on the cheeks, because blush is the first thing to go when it comes to makeup products on your face. When you get home after a long day out at the grocery market or the club or wherever you go, whatever you do with your day, blush is typically the first thing that is gone from your face, and you probably won't see much of it after you come home after a long day's work. So I want to see how this guy really holds up, because I have heard very good things about the formula and about the longevity, so we're going to test it out. So I will be back here in just a moment for you guys, but it will be a few hours for me. So I'll see you in just a few seconds.
6 hours later.
Okay, so I am back. It has been a couple hours. I believe that I filmed earlier this morning around 11-ish, and now it's almost 6. So it's been about 6 hours or so, and how do we think that the blush looks? I feel like by the 6-hour mark, makeup typically starts to break up a little bit and starts to fade, and I have not retouched at all, so how are we feeling? I think that it looks pretty good. There's a little bit of fading kind of towards the apples of my cheeks where I really layered product on. I do expect that though, because I put a lot of powder there and I kind of packed on the blush, so it typically does tend to look a little bit patchy for me on my skin because I don't wear foundation under. The blush kind of looks a little patchy no matter what blush I'm wearing by the end of the day. And let me tell you, today has been a day, my friends. So a little story time about what happened earlier today, and this is going to scare some people because, good lord, it scared me. I was running errands with my mom, and we were just going up to the post office, just minding our own beeswax, and I look on her passenger door window, and there's a giant spider, like this freaking big, chilling on the window right next to my face, but it was on the outside, right? Well, this was not your ordinary everyday spider. This was a thick spider. He was a thick boy. He was a chunky monkey. It was super like fat and like juicy. Oh god, it's so gross. But it really was. It was a fat, like thick boy type of spider. And I could see its little pincers like moving around, like I'm not even kidding. I've never seen pincers on a spider up close. I've always seen them like in Brave Wilderness here on YouTube when they're like in the Sahara Desert looking at spiders or whatever, or seen them on National Geographic, but I've never seen one in real life. This thing had pincers and it was just moving around, and it had two like red dots on its back. It was an all black spider and had like, you know, the spider body, whatever it might be called, and it had two little red splotches on the back of it. And I'm pretty sure that's a bad sign. Like, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to F with spiders at all if they have markings like that. But nonetheless, this thing was just chilling right next to my face, and it was very close to me, but it was like separated through a window, you know? So I could see it moving around and stuff. Well, then me and my mom drive on the highway for about 20 minutes or so. My mom is going 70 because, no offense, Mom, but you're kind of a wild driver. And I get out of the car once we reach our destination, and I see the spider on top of the hood. It was just chilling on top of the hood of the car. It survived us going 70 miles per hour on the freeway for 20 minutes somehow. I don't know how. This spider was literally out for vengeance. It was out for blood. It was out to get us. I swear to God. I don't know what was possessing that spider, but it was hanging on for dear life. Luckily, my mom got out of the car and knocked the spider off of the hood and squashed it. It took 3 different tries to squash it. We needed to make sure that it was done and dead and gone. Typically, I don't try to hurt spiders or bugs if I don't have to, but this thing was like, I knew it was going to come back, because if it survived going 70 miles per hour on the freeway, then it can survive anything. So that was kind of a whole tangent that I just went on, but good Lord, was that spider invincible. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm literally like traumatized from it too. Like, I'm not even kidding. Me and my mom were both just like, ugh, what just happened? Anyway, you didn't come here to hear about spiders, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. I know everyone hates spiders, so I'm sorry. I do too, okay? It was scary. But nonetheless, let's get back to the blush. I do really like the blush so far. I do think that it has a decent amount of wear time to it, because so far it still looks very vibrant, and it's been about 6.5 hours or so, and I think it looks pretty decent. So I'm happy with it. I think it was a good purchase. Like I said, I don't really have much like it in my collection, so I'm actually really glad that I went ahead and picked this guy up. But with that being said, that is going to be wrapping up my Jouer Rose Gold Blush Bouquet review here, kind of first impressions review, and my little spider story if you want to consider that a part of this video. But let me know down in the comments below if you've tried the blush bouquets, because a lot of people really do love them, and based off of me just trying this one particular blush bouquet, I really like the formula and I'm kind of wanting to try more. And I actually do believe people when I see online, when they say that they like this formula, I actually can kind of vouch for that now. I like it as well. I think it actually is very beautiful. But let me know if you've tried it before, or if you've been wanting some of the shades, because I might have to purchase a couple others. But I do hope that you consider subscribing if you have not already. I am doing all sorts of makeup goodness happening here on this channel, so if you are not already subscribed and you would like to be, I would love to see you hit that button down below. I do also hope that you consider giving this video a big old thumbs up, and I'm sure you hear the spiel every single time someone on YouTube does their outro, but if you want to stay informed with what I'm doing, go ahead and hit that notification bell, because that's the way that YouTube just treats people now. YouTube has just made it so that these creators and influencers and people on YouTube in general have to basically just remind people all the freaking time to hit that notification bell or subscribe and whatnot, because I think there's just so many damn people on YouTube that they can't keep up. But with that being said, if you want to stay in tune with what I'm doing, go ahead and turn that bell on. But I hope you are having an absolutely amazing and beautiful day wherever you are, and I hope that there's no horrible spiders in your day as well. But with that being said, I hope to see you next time. Bye!